Hello, I'm Ruben+West, and I'm excited to be here on this Change the World Summit. Now, here's what I know. In order to change the world, we have to start with ourselves first. And so I want to talk to you about that change. I want to ask you a question. I want you to think about a time where there was some kind of change you wanted to make, some kind of adjustment that you wanted to make, and then for some reason you didn't take action. I believe we've all done that, and I know that I've been guilty of that very same thing. And so I want to talk to you today about living your best life. Listen to this quote from Chuck Palahniuk. He said, if you knew that your life was merely a phase, a short segment of your entire existence, what would you do? How would you live knowing that nothing real was at risk? He said, you'd live a gigantic, bold, fun, dazzling life. You know you would. That's what the ghosts want us to do. All of the existing things that they can no longer do. And I believe when he said a gigantic, bold, fun, dazzling life, I believe he was talking about living your best life. But then the question becomes, what keeps us from doing that? What keeps us from living our best lives? We all know that there's things that we want to go after. Some of us want to improve our education. Some of us are on a mission in 2014 to improve our health. Some of us want to improve our wealth. We're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, and we're looking for a change. Some of us want to do it to help other people. We all have a change. But what is it that keeps us from the gigantic, bold, fun, dazzling life? Well, I believe it's four things that run with those four things. And that's fear, uncertainty, self-doubt, and extra hard work. Fear, uncertainty, self-doubt, and extra hard work. See, we get these ideas in our mind, we want it, but we don't take the action, and then 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years later, we find someone else that got that very same result that we were looking for because they took action. And so we have to make up in our mind while we're listening to this Change the World Summit that whatever it is that's going to be required for us to do, we are going to do it. I want you to think about this. Imagine being in the arena at the MGM Grand. The date is November 5th, 1994. And you're with tens of thousands of people. After you hear the crowds go wild, and then the music starts. And you see coming out of the tunnel, George Foreman. George Foreman, who was beat in Zaire by Muhammad Ali in 1974 and lost his championship. And here he is now at the age of 45, attempting to be the oldest fighter to ever win the championship. And while he's walking into the ring, there's some people that are simply laughing that this can't be. This is ridiculous. What does he think he's doing? He could get killed in there, but he's going for something. He's going for a gigantic, bold, fun, dazzling life. He's going to live his best life. And that's what we have to commit to doing. That it doesn't matter how old we are. It doesn't matter that we've been knocked out of the ring of life. It doesn't matter that we've been knocked down. The question is, are we willing to get back up and get back into the arena of life? George feels like he has a calling on his life to be the heavyweight champion, and he's stepping in there to answer the call. And now he's facing Michael Moore, a man that's 25 years old, the current champion. He has youth, he has agility, he has ability. And he's looking across the ring thinking, there's no way that this man can take my title, that this belongs to me. And that at some times you have to realize that it's just going to come down to a fight. That in order to live the life that you want to live, in order to live your best life, it's going to come down to a fight. And that's exactly what it came down to for George. That he realized that no one is going to hand him the title back. Very few people even give him a chance to win again. That he's been out of it too long. He was retired for 10 years. He set it aside. They said, no one has come back like that and been able to do this. What is it that makes you think you can do it? But there was something in him that was driving him to take action. And this is what I'm going to tell you. That if you're going to have the life that you want, if you're going to live your best life, there has to be something down within you that's driving you to get what you want. And what's going to happen is on your way to get what you want, on your way to the success that you're looking for, you're going to meet some roadblocks. There's going to be some times that you have to stop. There's going to be some traffic jams that slow you down. I know personally. As a matter of fact, I remember 2 years ago, I was going to my daughter's swim meet, and I was driving from Bloomington, Illinois to Leavenworth, Kansas. Her swim meet was on the military base. And so as I pulled up to the base, I got my ID out. I know how this works. I've been through this routine before. And I hand my ID to the guy. And he checks my ID, but he also says, I need you to open the hood. I need you to open the trunk, open the doors, and step out of the car. And I said, sir, I don't know if you know it or not, but I've just come all the way from Bloomington, Illinois. My daughter is in there, and the swim meet has already started. And if I don't get in there soon, I may miss it. And he said, that doesn't make a difference, sir. Everybody has to go through this. And so he made me get out of the car. And they looked in my engine, and I'm thinking, what is it that they're looking for? I just want to go look at this swim meet. And then they look within the car. And then they look in the trunk. And I'm thinking, I am done. I went to reach for my ID. He said, hold on. And then the other guy took a mirror and walked around the car, underneath the car, and he was checking the undersurface of the vehicle. And I'm saying, this is ridiculous. I've been slowed down by traffic jams. I'm running behind. I just need to get on my way. And after they gave me a thorough checking over, he handed me my ID back. And he said, sir, you can close up your vehicle and you're free to go. And so as quickly as I can, I shut the hood, I shut the back doors and the other doors, I shut the trunk, I got inside, and I took off so I could see her compete. And then something hit me at that moment, that what I just went through is what everyone goes through. See, I want you to write this down. Success is going to check your credentials. I'm going to say that again. Your success is going to check your credentials. See, there's going to be times in life where you're going right on your way, and when you almost get there, somebody's going to ask you to stop, and it's going to be success. And what are they looking for? They want to see how serious you are. They want to look in your hood. They want to see what's driving you. What is your motivating factor? Success is going to check your credentials. And then they're going to say, hey, wait a minute. Let me see what's in your heart. Let me see how bad do you really want it. Are you going to accept this no? Are you going to accept the fact that someone told you that you couldn't go back to school because you're too old now? Are you going to accept the fact that you can get back into the job market because now you're competing with people that are younger than you and they don't have the same ailments and issues that you have? Are you going to accept that fact, or are they going to be able to look into your heart and find something in there that's going to push you even when you don't feel like moving? And then success is going to tell you to open your trunk, because they want to know what baggage you're carrying. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. In order to get past the checkpoint, there's certain things that are not going to allow you to bring in. That procrastination can't go into the success point. It can't go. That fear, you got to set it aside. You can't bring it in here. That running with the wrong people, it's not going to work. There's some people that are not going to be able to let you pass the checkpoint. Success is going to check your credentials. And now imagine, if you will, you're watching this fight going back and forth, back and forth. George Foreman is fighting the fight of his life. He wants to win the heavyweight championship of the world again, and it doesn't make sense. And what's happening at this moment is he's in a battle. He's being tested. What's happening at this moment? Success is checking his credentials. But he's not stopping. He's keeping swinging. He's keeping the action going. Here's what I know. Doubt reduces action, but action reduces doubt. I'm going to say that again. Doubt reduces action, but action reduces doubt. And he's in this ring of life, and he's swinging. He's putting forth the action that's necessary, and that's exactly what you're going to have to do when you go after what it is that you want. You have to go into action. And that action is going to reduce the doubt that you see, that you feel, and that you hear. You can't listen to what other people say. You just have to take action. You don't know how you're going to make it. You just have to take action. You don't know which path to take right now, but you know you have to take a path, so you get started until you get some clearer direction, and then you go follow that direction. But what you have to do is you have to take action. And so now George is in there swinging in the fight of his life. And success is checking his credentials. And when they look in his heart, they understand why he wants this success. They understand why, because he had a taste of the championship. He used to be a champion, and then in one day he lost it. And now it's been bothering him and plaguing him, and he's stepping back into it again to wonder, can I taste this success again? And there's some of you who have been in the job market and you've gotten booted out, and you're wondering, am I going to be back in this market again? There's some of you who started in school, but because of trials, tribulations, things that we face, we got put out, we had to drop out, we had to set out. But there's something that's going to test you to see, am I going to get back in this again? There's those of us who are working on our relationship, and we've had separations, we've had periods apart, and now we're questioning ourselves, can we have it back again? Success is checking your credentials. And George, in the midst of this fight, they understood his heart. They understood his will. They understood why he wanted to do it. But what no one could really get is they couldn't understand it. What is it that can make a guy think that at the age of 45, something that's never been done before, that he could come into this ring and take on this challenger when he's been out of boxing for 10 years? They wanted to know what made him think that he can do it. And here's what they did not know: that for the 10 years that he was out of boxing, the 10 years that he was retired, he became a minister. He was a preacher. And he spent his time and his days encouraging other people to go after what they want. He told them, hey, you can have the relationship you want. And he told someone else, hey, you can have the business that you want. You have to go after it. He said, hey, it's going to take some hard work. You're going to have to go through some tough times. But if you want it, you can have it. He told them that they could, through faith, get what they wanted. But what was happening? What was happening while he was telling them what they wanted they could have was something was happening to him. You know, I've heard that if you help enough people get what they want, that you can get what you want. And as he was spending time speaking positivity into all of these people's lives, something was changing in his life. And as he told them that they could have what they wanted, he started to believe, wait a minute, if they can have it, I can have it. See, we read where God puts man to sleep, but we never read where he woke man up. Because awareness is a gradual process. And over that 10-year period where he was helping other people become aware of what they could have and what they could be and what they would have to do to get it, something happened within him. And he started to wake up. And I'm going to suggest that what is really going to be the determining factor, that if you can have a gigantic, bold, fun, dazzling life, is that something's going to happen within you. And it's going to come down to what is it that you're putting into your mind? Who are you associating with? And then what is it that they find when they check your credentials? What are they going to find? And so now Foreman, in the fight of his life, he's flashing his credential badge. He's battling back and forth. He's being tested. They want to see how bad does he want it. It's going back and forth. And now his opposition, Michael Moore, is swinging on him and he's hitting him. And this youth and vigor is going after this wisdom and commitment, and they're testing him back and forth. And now Mike is going round after round, and after 6 rounds they had every card winning that Michael Moore was winning, and then it went into the 7th round and the 8th round and the 9th round. They're still battling back and forth, and people are saying, look, it's too late. Why don't he stop taking this punishment? He's just getting hit too many times. It's not smart. He should just quit. But he didn't quit, and he came out in the 10th round, and he keeps getting hit, but he's still fighting back. Some people have doubt, but not him, because he's using action to overcome doubt, he's going back again and again. There's something in his mind that's telling me, if you want it, you can have it. There's something in you that's saying, wait a minute, if you want to improve this relationship, you can go for it. You don't have to listen to what they said. There's something in you that's telling you that if you want to improve your health, you just have to make the commitment to do it. That everybody's not going to see it. Everybody's not going to believe it, but it's up to you to believe it. Faith is for you, and the highest form of faith is preparation. And George said, I may be taking hits, I may be going hard, but I'm not getting knocked down, and I'm prepared. The highest form of faith is preparation, and he was prepared, and he was going right and left, back and forth, and then all of a sudden, bam! He threw a right cross, and Michael Moore went down. I want you to say breakthrough moment. See, that's exactly what happens when you go back again and again and again, and you're going after what you want, and you're willing to pay the price. Larry DeAngie said success never goes on sale. You always have to pay full price, up front, and in advance. And George Foreman had paid the price, and in that moment, bam, it was a breakthrough moment. And Michael Moore hit the ground, and the crowd went wild. And all of the people who said he couldn't do it are starting to think, wait a minute, could this really be? All of the people who told him that he was too old, that he wouldn't make it, that he couldn't last, that he's not the man that he used to be, all of these people are starting to think, wait a minute, he's doing it. See, he didn't listen to what they said. He went with what was in his heart, and that's what you're going to have to do. And as he looked over at Michael Moore laying on the ground, he stepped back, put his arms on the rope, and it was almost like slow motion when the referee counted. 1, 2. See, it didn't matter what they said to him. He didn't have to listen. And it doesn't matter what they say to you. You don't have to listen. 3, 4, that he set aside fear. He set aside uncertainty. And that you could do the same thing as long as you commit to getting what you want. 5, 6, that success was looking him in the eyes and saying, let me see, sir, I need to check your credentials. And you're going to have to show your credentials. 7, 8, he set aside the self-doubt. He put in the hard work. And that's exactly what you're going to have to do. 9, 10. And in that moment, they said, Michael Moore, you're out. But in that moment, George Foreman, you're in. In that moment, he changed his life. In that moment, he started living a gigantic, bold, fun, dazzling life. In that moment, he started to live his best life. Now, this is what I want to tell you. That if you ask George Foreman the next day, were you sore? Absolutely. The next day, were you in pain? Absolutely. And here's what I'm going to tell you. When you go after what you want, when you pursue it, when you give it all you got, I'm not saying you're not going to get hit. I'm not saying that you're not going to be sore. I'm not saying that you're not going to get knocked down so long as you get back up. I don't care if you've been off 10 years. I don't care if they say you can't do it. I don't care if they say you're old, outdated, antiquated. They do not know. People can predict your future, but you have the right to determine it. If you ask George Foreman the next day, was he hurt? He said yes. But the difference was he was now the champion. And you have the ability to become the champion of your life. You have the ability to live a gigantic, bold, fun, dazzling life. You have the ability to be the champion. And all you have to do is commit that the next time you take this idea that's given to you by the universe and you don't look at the odds don't matter. What you do is you get ready. You straighten your shoulders out. You start putting these positive things in your mind. You make sure that you're traveling with the right companions, and you be prepared to show your ID. Why? Because success is going to check your credentials. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ruben+West reminding you to live your best life. And do it now. Why? Because you only get one. Now I want you to reach out to me on my website. My website is Ruben+West360. That's RUBENWEST 360.com. You can also reach me on Facebook at Ruben West Speaks. That's Ruben West Speaks on Facebook. And then I want you to go check out my new book. It's called Change One Thing. You can find it at Change One Now. That's ChangeOneNow. ChangeOneNow.com. And I want to help you go from living the good life to living your best life. Thank you.